Okay, lesson 1, rational numbers. I'm going to define rational number. What is a rational number? A rational number is a number that can be written as a comparison of two integers expressed as a fraction. Okay, so that's a long definition. And so not only am I going to give the definition, I'll give you an example. An example of a rational number would be the number 1/2, because 1 and 2 are integers, and it is expressed as a comparison of these two integers in a fraction form. So 1/2. So that has a numerator and a denominator. Another example of a rational number would be the number 0.25. But you might ask, why is that a rational number? It's because 0.25 can be written as a fraction. It is a fraction 1/4. Okay, and again, 1 and 4 are integers, and so therefore it's a rational number. Negative numbers are also integers, like the number 3. And you might ask, why is that a rational number? Well, because -3 can be written as a fraction, -3/1. So these are examples of what rational numbers are. Another example of a rational number are percents. 19% is a rational number. Why? Because it can be written as 19/100. By definition, percents are out of 100. And the last type of rational number is called a mixed number, like 3 1/4. This can be written as a fraction of 13/4. It's an improper fraction. So we have fractions are rational numbers, decimals are rational numbers, integers are rational numbers, percents are rational numbers, and mixed numbers are rational numbers. As mentioned earlier, repeating decimals are rational numbers, and repeating decimals occurs whenever you divide the numerator by the denominator, and it just keeps going on. So I'm just going to show an example. Say we have the fraction 1/3, and I want to write it in decimal form. To write it in decimal form, I divide the denominator 3, and I divide it into the numerator 1. Well, it does not go, so that's where we add the decimal point and the 0 as the placeholder, and we begin to divide. So 3 goes into 10 3 times. 3 times 3 is 9, and I subtract. 10 minus 9 is 1. So I have a remainder of 1, so I'll add another 0 placeholder and continue dividing. So again, it looks like 3 goes into 10, which we started off with, and it looks like we're going to keep getting the same result over and over and over again. No matter how long we do this, it's going to keep saying 0.33333 forever. So this would be an example of a repeating decimal. It's when we write it and we have a digit or digits that repeat forever without stopping. The next example we have, or type of decimal, is called a terminating decimal. We've seen an example of that already, but let's do another one. 2/5 would be an example of a terminating decimal, and you will see that because if we want to write 2/5 as a decimal, we divide the denominator into the numerator. So here we go 5 divided into 2. It does not go, so we add a decimal point in the placeholder 0. And now we can say 5 can go into 20. And how many times? 4 times. 4 times 5 is 20. And I get no remainder, so it stops, it terminates, it ends. So this will be a terminating decimal. Now, to continue lesson 1, we're going to write a mixed number as a decimal. And so what is a mixed number? A mixed number is a number that has a whole number with a decimal, with a fraction next to it. So we have, and I'm going to make that a 4. Let's make that a 4. So 3 1/4. Okay. So how do we write a mixed number as a decimal? Well, earlier I said anytime we want to write a fraction as a decimal, we divide the denominator into the numerator. So we can do the same thing here. Since we have a whole number 3, we already know we have 3 as our whole number, and the fraction part, we're just going to create our division problem right here. So 4 dividing into 1. And once again, it does not go into nicely, so we add the decimal point in the 0, and we go 4 can go into 10. It goes into 10 2 times, making that 8 right here, because 2 times 4 is 8. Then we subtract. I don't know why I put the multiplication there. Subtract. 10 minus 8 is 2. We can add another 0 to see what happens. Bring this 0 down, and now 4. Can 4 go into 20? It does. It goes into it 5 times. 5 times 4 is 20. We subtract, and there is no remainder. So the decimal portion of the mixed number, the 1/4, is 0.25 or 25 hundredths. So this will be our mixed number in decimal form. Okay. Another example. Say it's a negative number. Say we have a -1/2/3. Again, we want to write this mixed number as a decimal. So once again, the -1 is a whole number, or an integer in our case. And so we already know it's going to have that 1 in the ones place right there. And so we take our fraction part, the 2/3, and create it into our division problem. 3 dividing into 2. 3 does not divide into 2, so we're going to add the decimal point and the 0. So 3 into 20 goes 6 times. 6 times 3 is 18. We subtract. 20 minus 18 is 2. We have a remainder, so we're going to add a 0. Bring down the 0. 3 goes into 20. Again, it goes into a 6 times, so it looks like we have a repeating number happening right here. Because if I go 6 times 3, that's 18. So yes, repeating. So now we know that the 6 is repeating. We put the bar notation over the number that repeats. So we could say the 6 repeats. So the decimal form of -1 2/3 is -1.6 repeating. Okay, so now I'm going to write decimals as fractions. So let's get a decimal number. Say we have 0.24. How do we write a decimal in fraction form? Is we have to read the decimal by its proper name. The way we read it is 24 hundredths, because the 4 is in the hundredths place with the th, hundredths. And since the 4 is in the hundredths place, we're going to place these 2 digits. There's 2 digits right there, the 24, the 2 and the 4. We're going to place that over 100 because the 4 is in the hundredths place. So there is our decimal in fraction form. Now, sometimes we are able to reduce our fractions or simplify our fractions. And we can do that with this one by deciding both of these have a common factor of 4 that can go into both. So 24 divided by 4 is 6. 100 divided by 4 is what? 25. And there are no other common factors here, so we would just leave this as 6/25 as a fraction in simplest form. Now, we can also write decimal numbers, or decimal numbers can look like what we did earlier with the mixed numbers. We could have 2 and 1/12, or 2.12, I should say. And let's make this a little more interesting. Let's go 2.125. So this time we have 2 and we have 3 digits over here after the decimal point. So this is my tenths place, my hundredths place. This is my thousandths place. So once again, so this is 2 and 125 thousandths. So this portion right here is the portion that is going to be in the fraction, while this 2 is a whole number. So our whole number is going to be here. So we're really going to have a mixed number. And we're going to take these 3 digits, the 1, 2, and 5. And since the 5 is in the thousands place, we put that over 1,000. And once again, we can simplify this fraction. So let's go ahead and simplify this. 125 and 1,000 have a common factor of 25. So 125 divided by 25 goes in 5 times. And then 1,000 divided by 25 is 40. And so I have 2 and 5 over 40. But this can also be simplified because 5 and 40 can both be divided by 5. So I get 2, and 5 divided by 5 is 1. 40 divided by 5 is 8. So I get 2 and 1/8. So there is my fraction right there.